Hey guys, Encore Performance here. Today, we're going to be reviewing a replay I played with 3 of my friends and 4 AIs. It was a hideout free-for-all, and things started out normal enough, but ended up getting quite bad. We had, first of all, me in the red, and we all picked random civs, but thank goodness I still managed to get Ethiopians, my personal favorite at the moment. Beside me, we have another human player, Savage Severo in the orange playing as the Indians. We've got purple here playing as the Tartars as an AI. Yellow playing as the Sarcerans as an AI. Green, yet another player, Canadian Conan, playing as the Malians. Gray playing as the Berbers, also an AI. And finally, for our final player, we've got Brooke the Butcher playing as the Portuguese. And last of all, we have Blue playing as the Incas. I was a bit unlucky with a forward stone here. My second gold and stone outside of my base. And some people had back areas, such as, say, Purple, who has a very back stone. A second one in their base, a relic. Or Green, who's just got stone back here, at least in space. Cyan's got gold, whereas my base was a bit cramped. And here, not my brightest play, but we were just doing late night, chill, fun games. And, yes, I lose my scout, I lose this tower, I'm forced to delete it. And since my villagers have loom, one manages to get away, sadly the second is slain. We managed, though, to bring his scout and 2 spearmen into our base, where they'll stay till they die. This has become their grave now. And we distract him for a while. Oh, does this become a... Oh, never mind, it was a doubt tower. And these units should be focusing on the palisade wall instead of the house. So they could have already broken out. And I start building some archers. That's the only aggression we're seeing is Savage Severo with a large amount of infantry, and me with some archers. What happened to those orange units? I think they might have just come too close to the TC, maybe, or... I'm not sure. We come in with some archers, and it's a slaughter, and sadly, an assassination occurs, leaving Brooke the Butcher's kingdom rulerless. No, I'm just kidding, it was Wi-Fi lag. And we've got quite the numbers here, but not what I'd consider the best raiding units from Severo. And we go to TC this, and as I'm saying, it's very forward, so we get some villagers hurt there. We just managed to quick wall this in time. We get this tower up, it gives us enough breathing room. We come out, we start building this town center. He comes out, we try and university that. Instead, we're forced to build here, and last second clutch that, allowing us to get this TC up for even more protection. And these units get in, but thank goodness I'd walled this earlier on. Right before they're through this house, again we stone wall this. And a mangonel comes in clutch, killing the skirmishers and archers, getting quite a few men at arms. We almost lose it, but we throw our villagers inside the TC. And this TC, you can see it's really just helping fight off this early aggression. Now we've got our own raid of a few cavalry archers coming out. Sadly, we are not the first up to imp. That privilege goes to green. We pick off one of Orange's villagers. Come in, grab a second. Around for a bit. Leave. And you can see we really haven't explored much, so I decided to send out my cavalry archers to see what's around. Meanwhile, we're going for quite a big boom. We're going to attempt, we're on 3 TCs, I would like to get a 4th. Some idle time here, sadly. We come around here, and then we return to our economy just to let our cavalry archers be converted, attacked by Genitors, their natural enemy. Things just didn't go well. We managed to escape with 4 who are wounded as well. Come over to Pester Green here, as I'd say since he's an AI, since he's not an AI, he'd be a problem. We find one of his Canadian Conan Woodlines, as I like to call them, allowing us to pick off 2.5 of his villagers. And then again, we return back to look at our eco and lose 2 cavalry archers. During this time, we send them over here to their death. We come up with 1 castle here. We research royal hairs, so now our Shoto warriors will be built even quicker. We decide to castle here, as now I feel quite confident and happy with our position. Getting a lot of university tech, such as chemistry and murder holes. And this, guys, is the perfect farm. At least it was till those light cav came along. Meanwhile, we see some gray picking on the... Maybe he should pick on someone his own size, eco-wise. For here, we get a TC up. I decide I've had enough with Orange's raids, so I'm just gonna block myself off from that wood. Just kidding. And in the process, we're just gonna wall this. That way I can push out on this side. I quite like where I put this castle. We've got this as a natural defense, kind of a buffer, so they have to walk around this the entire way while the castle gets shots in on them with its max range. And we've got a hill bonus to help out. And sadly, I'd forgotten about these units and still managed to lose 6 villagers. No, 5. To him only losing 1 scout. And again, we all had some idle time this game. I put up my barracks as panic when I see this 1 light cav, and first thing I do is start queuing up pikemen with the free upgrade. As soon as these come out, it'll be the end of those scouts. Or light cav. Only losing 1. Meanwhile, we can see what strategies everyone's going for. I'm just going for this slow expansion. I'd like to have a nice big boom. And to do so, I want to grab all the resources around me in this little outer area. So I'd like this stone, this gold, that stone. We can see some nasty towers here pushing us off our wood lines. Speaking of wood lines, let's check on our friend Kona. And oh, not bad. It's only 3 or 4 tiles, but this is a tragedy. Oh, I take back everything I said. It looks like I can't really say what he's going to be going for yet. Trash, so far from what I'm seeing. Pikemen and skirmishers. Maybe he'll mix in some siege with that? Yeah, that's what it looks like. Meanwhile, we've got blue going for, again, just some trash, some eagles. Yeah, 1 eagle single-handedly wiped out this pop. And blue starts to be annoying, so we build a treb here, treb down their old castle. We start to wall this, and you can see here how the skirmishers' minimum range actually allows them to lose to a villager. A Shoto here proudly defeats a bear. I brought the treb over here to see what I could do, but sadly it didn't work the way I would have liked. And you can see the royal hairs at its best, creating 40 Shotos between our 2 castles in a matter of seconds. Just grabbing our infantry upgrades before we decide to unleash this storm. Yes, this trash does seem to be working decent against Grey as long as they keep the siege behind it. We will return just as soon as all these Shotos are out of here. And Shotos aren't the strongest unit, and we have almost none of their upgrades at the moment. We're still waiting for the last few to come in. Except they are extremely high attack, high movement speed, and the bonus damage versus buildings is incredible. You can see if you position 40 of them in the right spot around this town center, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits, and it's down. You have the ability to cripple an economy in seconds. And these 40 actually managed to strike in decisive enough of a blow that blue is done for the game. Well, if we go back to looking at strategies, we can see people really like to wall on this. I mean, I can't talk, but I think they should be making more forward walls, grabs for resources. We've got purple here with... No, I'm wondering if they'll chop into each other. And here, speaking of chopping, Savage Severo takes a page out of my book, cuts in, starts attacking, but thank goodness again, I quickly build 30 Shotel Warriors, and you can see just how well gold intensive units do against trash. Imagining to clean that up in seconds. With us only losing, there was 3 pikemen there, so we only lost 2, and they are wounded, to be fair. We break down this gate, come in here, Doubt Castle, couple of villagers killed, and now I leave them here just to fight this off, as I want to go see what's happening with blue. You can see when our ecos started to get attacked, I panicked and brought everything out. And it seems that combination really did work. Oh, transitioned into Gebettos with almost no upgrades. And siege onagers. Nice. And I do like the grab on resources, not the woodlines, never the woodlines, but I do like how Canadian Conan is expanding out to grab these before they're too late. So this was all trees. Oh. Just look upon this and weep. These villagers are going to die of cardiac arrest right away. See, this is how it's done properly, nice and close. Grabbing some relics just because I feel it'll be a late game. Closed maps normally are. Trying to rebuild my economy. I definitely should be moving out at this point. I just feel the Ethiopians are made for gold, so that's what I'd like to use them for. I'd like to get maybe some Siege Onager Halberdier combos. And why I like what Conan's doing here so well is just compared to the other players, like we have some resources being taken here, like this bit of gold. I just don't feel it's empathized enough. And some crazy house building. It's a suburban area. And we've kind of moved into blue's base. Almost finished rebuilding our own. And built out here a bit. This is just for wood, as I've run out of wood. Not run out, but I wouldn't like to cut too far here in case another player cut in. And there's these towers here bugging me. So I just felt just a couple of palisades will give me some nice protected wood lines here. Meanwhile, we'll check. Savage Severo seems to be building up an army with 30 guys here. 13 here. I definitely think this is a mistake. These units should be pushing out and now. And we have the same situation for Conan. You really have to, converting some of Gray's buildings. Meanwhile, we've walled this here now. Expanding our walls a bit so we can grab these resources. This stone. You could see I'd really like to move out just maybe even a little bit more with this gold and stone. Or just to grab gold and stone. And I have what I need to produce it. And we come in here and decide to wall here. This is going to be our last wall of expansion, is right away we're going to run into some trouble. Namely a certain wood chopper. Sigh. Oh, it's brutal. How much wood does he have? 25,035 on wood. I'm going to say that's the equivalent to 5 on wood. If you had 5 in a nice safe spot. And not sure what happened here. And an assault is mounted by Canadian Conan. I wouldn't say strong enough considering the resources he has, but still an assault. We have pink here begging for some protection, so I decide I'll make him an ally, so that way I just have a good idea what's happening on the other side of the map, as I can't really see much. So pink's now my ally, and I can see what he sees. Obviously, he's not much help, but it's a benefit. Meanwhile, over here, these units should definitely be pushing in, because right now they're just giving me time to begin my Shotel spam once again. So you can just see that this is on 3 times speed, but still. And not only do they have a bonus against buildings, they also work excellently against siege, as you can see here, taking them out with a matter of hits. And I do like the Cavilers from this player, with their, I think it's called Farimba, the +5 attack on all mounted units. And I decided to rebuild these. And Savage Sever finally starts doing something with his troops. Oh, he's going to decide to wall this in the same manner I have. I endorse that idea. I definitely think scouting the outer bits is important on this map, as you can see I have. Well, purple did some of it for me, but... So I can see now Savage Chevro's busy here. I don't have to worry about him. I can push back Conan. Now that we're pushing back Conan, we can... I think we'll go Siege Onagers probably, with our Torsion Engines unique tech. And I do have a few slip-ups around Green's TCs with the Bulgarians naturally fire arrows, even if you don't have units garrisoned within. And here we receive yellow as another ally, just to see what's going on, and sad moment there. And now I realize something genius, a free-for-all. Some of the things you're missing is trade. And I don't really have any allies to trade with Leicester County on the other side of the map. But as I'm coasting through Blue's base, what do I find but a market here? So I quickly tower this trade route. I bring in a battering ram to clear this area. And so our trading begins. And I think I was getting 29 gold from each trade cart. This just helped, plus with my relics and the 20 villagers I have farming at the moment. It worked beautifully. You just want to be careful with the ram, you don't accidentally take that out. Okay, another assault here from Conan, with quite the number of cavalry. I'm almost thinking if you had this amount, and we saw he had siege onagers early on, he should have cut here. Because I barely managed to stop a trash raid into my eco. And not that there's even much of it left right now. 40, how many was it? We're going to go 40 mounted units. Would not be something easy to counter. He's not even looking up here. It's 38 Cavilers, and there was a number of light cavalry in there as well. Yes, 41 mounted units with the crazy attack would be dangerous. As we can see, I've just come up with my 4 siege workshops, and I'm going to start pumping out my siege onagers. Couple of arbalests as well to mix in. With our 25% fire quicker bonus. I'm going to wait for about 20, and I'll feel that's enough of a mass to start to challenge these in the field. Only thing I'm worried about is these bombard cannons. So I send out Shotel warriors to... They take out 1. Oh, did they get 2? I think they got 2. And here another mistake is we have units attacking the villagers building the castle, and then they turn to attack the castle instead. And these onagers do an exceptionally well job of clearing that first bit. And they come in here, a crazy charge, and it does not work. Does work is the one Shotel that got through manages to take out our own force anyway. As you can see there, they definitely earned their keep. I think that was 80 kills for 20 units. They are expensive units, so we'll say 40 units for 80 units. Just love how the AIs battle each other to the death, but their villagers are just fine with chilling. You find it all over the place, or even Conan and his wood lines, well, we all know he doesn't monitor them, so. And we do see Yellow attempting to trade here, but there's that TC firing. Not sure who he was going to trade with. Perhaps me? Whoops. Sorry for laying you down, buddy. Yes, a trade route through here would have been extremely dangerous had they managed to break through, but also would have paid off hugely. I'm not sure what market this is matching with, because that would not have been 35. If this is 29, that would have been 100, I'm thinking. We lose a few villagers to this. It makes me upset, so I bring a few more and get some siege workshops up. And when you're mad, what else is there to do but spam out bombard cannons? And you can see we're hitting our pop limit here, where we're fighting off Severo, who doesn't have very... Oh, yes, he does. He's got a very large... And what are the upgrades on these? I think that's all of them. No, I think the champions might be missing one. And then there's obviously stuff within these castles. What's inside? Halberdiers, trash. Battering rams have halberds. Sadly, sends in his siege first, which it would be slaughtered my Shotos if I'd been paying attention with them, that is. And we break open a wall just to take this out quickly. Hurrying over with the villager to quickly fix that gap we made. And these Shotos really just work in numbers as a beautiful defensive unit to just pump out. Bring these villagers here, we find some stone, and why not? That's a record. That's a record. That's our record of worst wood lines. We see this stone, so pretty soon I'll stop fighting on the front and bring these villagers to come grab it. This should be walled all the way. I think, in my opinion, that's not very much stone. He can definitely afford it. A lot of gold. And yes, these units get in. I'm off fighting Conan. We're pushing forward. Really not watching as Severo cuts through my eco. And we have some micro here. It's not the smoothest, but it does work. It gets the job done. And I come back here. You'll see in a second I'll queue up heavy cavalry archers at all these and panic at what I see. Which is my eco gone. I still have quite a large eco. And we're throwing Shotos away here just to survive. Or push these back while we try and get enough cavalry archers to actually deal damage with them. We managed to accomplish that. Our original tower goes down. The sheep somehow survived the falling debris, miraculously. And these cavalry archers managed to amass large enough with their 25% faster firing rate and do some damage. Meanwhile, Conan, oh, it was Yellow? Don't you understand? He was our friend too. Why would you do this? Is that a scout cavalry? No, it's like... Yellow takes him out. And this TC here manages to get us before we get all the stone, but our villagers with Sapper almost take it out. That's, I think, the worst woodline I had all game, in comparison to this guy's. You've got buildings blocking it. That's crazy amounts of tiles. Oh, God. See, here we have the units killing these villagers. Well, these villagers work beside them in peace. And Yellow really did throw. Trade carts are not cheap, but look at how many he's losing this town center. Oh. And Green's losing some of their own. Who is he trading with? For how much gold? Sorry. Holy! That's 120 max. Or at the minimum. How much gold does he gain from these? I want to know. 3! He is getting, I guess it measures this way. 3 gold with each trade card. He should have just chopped here then. Or no. Yeah, 3 gold. He should have chopped this at least, or built a market back here. And I guess he was assuming me to chop through. So this area was castled and walled when it should have been put up here on the front. A more serious threat. And this is rather terrifying, to tell the truth. Oh, there's one Cavalier in there. It's their general. And he's got quite the number of siege as well, I think I saw, yeah. I'm not sure what I've built. Nothing to defend against that. Oh yeah, that's because I'm back here fighting off Severo. The panic. And what saves us is our camel spam we begin right away. Thank God. These all go down. There should be much better micro here. These should be attacking these villagers before they get the production buildings up. And out come some cavalry archers. And out come some camel. I'm just waiting for it. Here we have these Shoto warriors do a half-decent job. They'll come down here, and I think they should be able to clear most of this. These camels do an extremely well job when mixed in with the Shotos. Camels kill his Hussars. Shotos kill his halberds, and the Shotos can keep up, actually. I think they're faster than camels. We bring in some onagers, and I decide, let's repay the favor to Severo. He chopped to us, let's chop to him. And I start to spam out trash in a manner Canadian Conan would be proud of. In seconds, already at 5, we bring all these units down. I decide, yep, too costly. And right away I'll chop you. Severo should stop learning from Conan and learn more from me. Chop through here. We've got at least 60 units here. I bring them all into a mass. I decide to chop through here. Bringing our cavalry archers in to raid a bit of his eco. Chop right there, and in comes the horde. He didn't really expand out as I said he should have, so this is his only TC and his only villagers. He doesn't garrison them inside. Once they're dead, it's game for him. And I think he knows that. This was actually Conan was leaving me alone. And he resigns, which I'm going to have to disagree with. He had 56. Oh, he did have villagers back here. Never mind. Well, they're quickly becoming greens, but... And the amount of resources he had with the production buildings and houses, he could have at least spammed out a bunch of units and still done some damage. But it was his choice. And this is why you should spread out. Now we have only 3 players remaining. Conan with his crazy forces of trash. And Yellow, who currently has a peace treaty with us, but it doesn't look like he's going to last for long. So I grab every unit I have and I send it over here. And I know some people, Canadian Kona, thought it was a bit unfair to team with the AI, but he didn't really help me in any way. You guys saw he didn't tribute. The only thing he gave me was his sight radius. Oh, that was a terrible fight to choose. I should have run from that. Oh. Do we manage to get away with these 4? Well, I know these guys have just come to join the party. So anyways, sorry. Oh, we were going for the hill bonus, perhaps. And while the halberdiers may be few, their spirit is many. And if he keeps splitting his units up, we should be able to take them. And those monks don't convert anything, just get saves from castle fire. Oh, maybe we couldn't have taken that engagement. I come down here, and in a manner that Age of Noob would be proud of, I begin to spam out my production buildings, as I feel I've definitely been neglecting my military and my eco at this point, but I have enough for a very long trash war, and I feel if I can keep pressuring from two sides, I've won this. Oh, some friendly fire there. And a mad monk dash. He made it halfway through. Oh, a second one. Our new contestant. Oh, even further than the first. We're going to have a third? Oh, the record yet. Oh. Down here, Conan is still hasn't fixed his wood lines. I'm starting to push on this side. And I don't think he's got the eco or resources to match. Actually, he does. Except I've just ruined his trade, I think, or I will. I got so close to destroying it, I panicked. I saw it and I sent Shotos. I thought they had destroyed it. And we did manage to move into 2 AI's bases. I never went to Conan's, or sorry, Sevro's, as there was still all these active units. It's like in a war zone after they leave the live landmines. You don't want to be sending villagers around with little pockets of guys like this. I want a villager back there on 1 HP. And if I needed to, I could have cleaned this up. More onagers coming out with a combination of siege. The onagers actually don't even earn their keep. All of our trash does it for us, and he can push us. He can hold us on this side, but while he's there, this side remains triumphant, pushing him back. And I wanted to chop at this point, but I felt we had already won. These onagers come down, and this is going to be my worst onager micro yet. You can see we're matched pretty evenly as he's spamming out Hussars, but they are light cavalry, but they have Farimba. I'm spamming out Hussars, who have more HP and armor, but less attack. And it's going to be brutal what happens next. Getting almost no hits in, and this is pure trash, and in the late game was not worth it. I chopped through here, so I thought, you know what, let's let him, because he hadn't seen this bit yet. He runs through, keeps going, and immediately runs into our second wall. Kept going, our third wall. I almost thought the trade carts were a wall, there were so many. He looks around the map, and I thought he called it by now. He calls the game. Yellow tells me this is a mistake. I don't understand what I'm doing. But it takes about 10 seconds before he is finished. Thank you for watching this one. It was a bit of a longer game. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you. Bye.